Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're continuing in this week's Hachaim, Parshat Yisro. We're in Perek Chaf Pasuk Ches. We're talking about the mitzvah of the Aseret Sedivros that discusses the mitzvah of Shabbos. The pasuk begins, remember the day of Shabbos and make it holy. 6 days, Sheishes Yom Tavod V'Sisa Kol Malachtacha. The Hachaim has a beautiful ha'ara, beautiful chiddush in the order that the pasuk, that the Torah chose to word and to write this mitzvah. Because really the Hachaim says it should have first said 6 days you should work, and then remember Shabbos, right? What comes in the order of the week? First comes Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then comes Shabbos. Yet the Torah says the other way around. Zocher Yom HaShabbos L'Kachrei. Pirush, the Hachaim says there's a beautiful halacha here and a beautiful chiddush and something we should really focus on. She'iskureyu miyam rishon. The pasuk is not telling us first remember Shabbos, then remember the 6 days of the week. Rather, you have to remember the day of Shabbos from the beginning of the 6 days of the week. From everything you do on Sunday should already be in preparation for Shabbos. That's why the later part, which is Shabbos, preceded what should have been first, which is the 6 days. Logic would have been then afterwards to say Zohar. The reason that the Torah wrote it specifically in this way, loima, to teach us mitzvah. That what? Sha'askira tiyeh min yom rishon. Al derech oimrum, like it says, shebachol yom yomer hayom yom echad b'Shabbos. Right? We fulfill this mitzvah in Shachris when we say Hayom Yom Echad b'Shabbos. Right? People say, yeah, it means the first day of the week. No, it means the first day of Shabbos. And every time you're supposed to remember Shabbos. Through this, you will make sure that you will always make Shabbos holy. Why? Because you will not forget what day it is. Right? If every day you're counting, okay, today is the first day before Shabbos. Today is the second day before Shabbos. So you'll always remember when Shabbos is. Gam yirtza l'katshoi. So too, the word lekatshoi also can mean lashon hazmana, preparation. Prepare the week in order that you should get right, which means use the week in order to prepare for Shabbos. From the first day of the week, you should already start preparing for Shabbos. That's what we know Beis Hillel used to do. Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel each had different shittas how to prepare for Shabbos, but everything that they did was always, this piece of meat, I could use this for Shabbos. Or the next day they would find, this is a better piece of meat for Shabbos. And then they would set the other side, the other meat for regular use. Everything that they did revolved around the day of Shabbos. And that's what this mitzvah, that's what this pasuk is coming to teach us. The whole week should revolve around Shabbos. Gam yirtza, another idea when it says Zocher Yom Shabbos, Aderech Oimram. Ki Yom Shishi Shebay Nivra Adam Rishon, the 6th day that Adam Rishon was created, we know that Adam Rishon did an Avera right before Shabbos by eating the Eitz Hadas. And he was Chayiv Benafshoy. Now what happened? Why wasn't Yitaka not killed? Because Bo Yom Shabbos V'nasa Saneger L'Odol Fnei Hashem. Shabbos came and defended Adam Rishon in front of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And Shabbos said, Ribono Olam, Lo nerag Adam mi'olam. A person was never yet killed in this world. And you should start by the holiest day of the week, and you should start killing somebody on Shabbos. It will always be forever remembered that on Shabbos, the first person was killed. Hashem accepted that argument. V'nitzal Adam, and Adam Rishon was saved. Ukushira Adam koicha shel Shabbos. Now this is a beautiful insight. When Adam Rishon saw the great koich of Shabbos to save a person's life, he started singing Mizmor Shir L'Yom Shabbos, a day of remembrance for Shabbos. He always, now Shabbos came, he always remembered and thanked Shabbos for saving his life. Not only did Shabbos push off the Misa, in actuality, Hakadosh Baruch Hu saved Adam Rishon's life, thanks for Shabbos. Lezeh Omer Hashem Zohar. And Hashem wanted us to remember what Shabbos did for Adam Rishon, which in turn, reality means for us. Remember, Pirushi Yizro Yom HaShabbos, remember the day of Shabbos, Asher be'emtzu'usoi niskayem Adam v'yotzeh chalatza. Through the intercession, through the advocacy of Shabbos, Adam Rishon was kept alive. In addition, his children are around. So without Shabbos, we wouldn't have been here. So Hashem is commanding us, Zocher es Yom Shabbos, remember the day of Shabbos, make it holy because Shabbos saved you. And Shabbos is a day that's worthy for all of us to be Mekadosh just for that prat alone. Besides the fact that Shabbos is the ultimate day, is the day of remembrance. When we keep Shabbos, we remember that Hakadosh Baruch Hu created the world. We affirm our belief in that Hashem created the world in 6 days. There's another idea that the Pasuk is teaching us, remember Shabbos. Now, if the Torah would have written in the normal manner, first 6 days you should work and then you should keep Shabbos, we would not have known that this is an important idea to take with us. But by changing the order of the Psukim, so now we say to ourselves, okay, why did the Torah change what the order of what should have been? It must be teaching us. What is it teaching us? The Hachaim is Mechadish. It's teaching us to always remember and thank Shabbos, make a day that Shabbos saved us. Shabbos kept and defended Adam Rishon alive. The Timsa. And an idea the Hachaim takes a step further. Any day of the week or any day of the year that somebody had a nace happen to him, that day, now he says over here, he will hold that day forever as a special day in his life. Right? Hashem made a great nace for him. He will always make that day special. One of the famous days is done. The famous Yidua is the Tosas Yom Tov. The Tosas Yom Tov suffered through a very difficult time in his life. He was the top of the heap, as they say. He was in Prague. He was the Rosh. He was the Av Bezdin. He was the Rav, and he went all the way down because of Lashon Hara that was said against him. He almost was killed. He was saved. He then had to go into Gullus. Long story. Eventually, he became the Rav of Krakow, and he made what's called a Megillas Eicha, a day for him and for his family to remember forever the day that he was let out of prison. And other people have special days. Now, Shabbos is even more than a regular day that something happened to an individual. Shabbos atzma. It wasn't that Hashem saved Adam Rishon. It was Shabbos itself that went and defended and saved Adam Rishon from death. And as a result, saved all of us from death. And therefore, Lazeh Omar Zocha. That's why the Torah tells us, remember Shabbos. Remember not just that Shabbos is a holy day, but remember what Shabbos did for us. Because these happened a long time ago in the days when Hashem created the world. Right? Which means that the Pasuk is telling us, remember what Shabbos did for us when Hashem created the world. Another approach. So we already learned 2 pshatim in why the Torah wrote seemingly out of order, first to remember Shabbos, and then to remind us what our job during the 6 days of the week is. The first is that we should always, every day of the week, we should remember Shabbos. Whatever we do should always be in preparation for Shabbos. The second thing we learned, that we should always remember what Shabbos did for Adam Rishon and for us. You should always remember the name of Shabbos. What does it mean, remember the name of Shabbos? It means you should always mention Shabbos. V'atam lekatshoi. Because by us saying the word Shabbos, we make it holy. When you mention the name of Shabbos on Shabbos, right? When we make Kiddush, we make Shabbos holy. Now it's true that Shabbos comes even if we don't make Kiddush, but will we have a special effect that we have some sort of inyan that when we make Kiddush, we mekadosh it. Hence the word Kiddush is from the word Kedusha. V'zehu shir kosef. Zoches yom. Uma yiskor Shabbos. Now, what do we do on Shabbos? That's what we tell everybody. Good Shabbos. We don't say good Monday, good Tuesday, good Wednesday. Right? That's why the Goyim say Good Friday, because they want to copy what we do. Right? But it's really Good Shabbos. And when we mention Shabbos, that's how we're mekadosh it. Ki Shemoshe Hakadosh Baruch Hu Shabbos. Why? Because the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Shabbos. It's brought down in the Zohar. K'mayim Reb Shimon ben Yochai. V'achar kach bira kosev ma yom yomayim. V'omar sheishes yomim ki sheishes yomim. Because Hashem worked and He rested on the 7th day. L'madata Ki hayoim shvi shal sheishes me'bereses hu amar. From here, from this pasuk, that the seventh day, which is the sixth day after HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, that's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu rested, and we have a job to make it holy. We'll now move on to the next pasuk, Sheishes Yom Tavit. Tzarech L'das. So we're continuing in pasuk test, as we said. Tzarech L'das Le'eze Idin Nitzav Hashem La'avod B'Sheishes Yomim. When you learn the pasuk, it seems to be saying that the 6 days of the week you're supposed to work, right? For some people it's a chiddush, right? But it seems to be that the Torah says 6 days you should work, and then you should have Shabbos. For what purpose does Hashem have to tell us to work? What does it mean to tell us and you should accomplish? Right? Once you told me that you have to work, we know v'yasisa kol malachtecha. V'nir ki yechaven al derech maimer hakosu beParshat Bar Sinai. Comes to teach us that Hashem wants to teach us, like it says in Bahar. In Parshas Bahar, it talks about the mitzvah of Shemitah. And it says in Shemitah, right, you should work for 6 years, and on the 7th year, you should rest. If you're going to say, what are you going to eat in the 7th year? Right? We're going to tell Hashem, if you don't plant and you don't plow and you don't produce food, what are we going to eat in the 7th year? V'tzivisa, and Hashem commands us in the 6th year to work, and there will be extra food. This is what is teaching us over here. For it says, remember the Shabbos to make it holy. We see that on Shabbos you cannot do anything that's chol, weekday. Right? Why? It says you should remember Shabbos to make it holy. Holy means separate. It has to be different than what you do during the 6 days of the week. Shabbos is so holy that you're not allowed to even speak about business. Forget about doing business, you're not allowed to even speak business. There are many tzaddikim that wouldn't even speak in the regular language, they would only speak in Lashon HaKodesh. You cannot do anything that's chul. So therefore, the pasuk is like sort of preempting us by asking, if we can't work on Shabbos, what are we going to eat? That's why the pasuk is teaching us Sheishes Yomim Levad Tavod. You'll only have to work on the 6 days. And it's not that you should do all your work. Rather, the Torah is telling us you will be able to do all your work, which means the Torah is giving us a bracha that if you first remember Shabbos, then the 6 days of the week will be enough for you to accomplish whatever you need for Shabbos. Pirush will be enough for Friday and Shabbos. Like it says by Shemitah, that in the 6th year you'll have enough for the 6th year, you'll have enough for the 7th year, and you'll even have enough for the 8th year because that's when you're starting to plant again. It takes time for the new plant to grow. So in reality, the 6th year you need for 3 years. So too, the Torah is telling us, if you remember Shabbos, not that you should work 6 days. Rather, when you work the 6 days, you will be able to be accomplishing everything that you want to learn. Oid Yirtza, another explanation. We touched on this earlier. Hashem wants us that on Shabbos, you should not think about anything that's chol. That's why it says on the 6 days of the week, take care of all your business. When it comes Friday, Chatzos, a little after, hopefully a little bit before Shabbos, that's it. At this point, there's nothing else you could do. The light's off. When it comes Shabbos, there's nothing more you could do about it. There's nothing more to think about. Rest like you're ready, your work was already done. Because if not, normal mind is going to start to race, right? You're going to start to think, I should have done this, I should have done that. And even if you're not doing anything, you're going to start to think, maybe if I would have done this, okay, I'll prepare Sunday and I'm already starting to do this. And you'll set up Shabbos the whole week, and that's not good. Say Lamad, B'Maaseh Chassid, and learn from the Chassid in Masechta Shabbos, that he knast himself for even thinking about fixing a fence that was broken on Shabbos. He didn't do it. He wasn't planning on doing it on Shabbos. It just entered his mind. For that, he knast himself for thinking work-related things on Shabbos. Shabbos is a special day. You cannot have any foreign thoughts. Shabbos' day is to be 100% Lashem. Can't think anything that is weekly related. And that we learn out from this pasuk of Sheishes Yom Tavod. Tu Chidushim, the Hachaim says, Number one, that if you remember Shabbos, Sheshes Yom Tavoid, V'yasis, and you will be able to do all your malachtacha. Not you should do, but you will be able to do. And the second thing is, on the 6 days of the week, you will, when you do all your work, that's done. Come Shabbos, you don't think about anything that has to do with the week. And in Mitzvah Shem, by being mekabel these things, we should see the bracha of Shabbos, as it says, Nachla b'li mitzarim ad b'li dai.